Hey, what's up? This is Gardetrace. The Pride Troopers have been heavily focused on within the Tournament of Power. And even before the tournament itself had actually started, we did get a lot of glimpses of Universe 11 where we would showcase the Pride Troopers in action. But so we get to the tournament and we're seeing them in action. However, I have got to say that the Pride Troopers appear to be the dumbest shits I've ever seen, ever, especially when you consider the circumstances of everything, as well as what has exactly been going on in this tournament. So now, let's just take the members of the Pride Troopers. Now, in episode 101, that's where we were getting a lot of focus on the Pride Troopers, because before them, the only Pride Troopers we really seen much of would be, of course, the likes of Topo, brief glimpses of Gerren, as well as a little bit of focus on Dispo. We haven't seen a whole lot of the other members. And then we start to really see the other members in action. So in that episode, we were focusing on the other members of the Pride Troopers who were pretty much up against the likes of Goku, Android 17 and 18, as well as Caulifla and Kale. Now, what happens is Caulifla has been taking a lot of damage at this point, and Kale, of course, has been feeling very useless of not being able to help her, which leads to her learning how to control her legendary Super Saiyan transformation. Yes, I'm gonna call it that because that's what the fuck it is. But anyway, thanks to a combination effort with Caulifla and Kale, they eliminate a huge portion of the Pride Troopers. All except for one member, who was this girl who was protecting herself in a force field. But then Android 18 just lifts that force field up and throws that bitch out of here. Oh my god, that's why I love 18. So what happened here was more than half of the team had wound up getting eliminated. You guys have lost a huge chunk of your fighters. You only have 4 fighters left after that. So it made me wonder, why didn't one of the stronger members, such as Topo or Gerren, step in to prevent something like this from happening? You gotta remember, you want to make sure you have as many fighters remaining as possible, because what's gonna happen if you lose? Do I need to remind you again what will happen if you lose? You know what? I'm gonna remind you again. You see? That's gonna happen. You see what happened to Universe 9? You see what happened to Universe 10? They got erased from existence. And from the looks of things, Universe 11 seems to be next in line, especially at the rate that they were going. Because you guys, you wound up losing a huge chunk of your resources that quick. So many of your combatants had just been wiped out just like that.
一気に5人も。残りあと4人で済ますよ。
When we get to Dragon Ball Super episode 105, we focus in on Super Saiyan God again, and what happened there was we had Dispo up against Hit, and Dispo was showing to give Hit some trouble as he was able to move faster than Hit was able to activate his time skip. So that's where Goku stepped in to give Hit a hand, and then of course that's when Dispo's teammates Kunshi would step in to give him a hand because Dispo was about to be eliminated, but then Kunshi throws his threads out at him to catch him and to bring him back on the stage. So that right there was a huge example of teamwork among the two of them. They would have lost another member because really the Pride Troopers can't afford to lose any more members. They were about to lose another one, but then Kunshi does a nice save there for Dispo. So then what happens there is we pretty much have a team fight going on with Goku and Hit versus Dispo and Kunshi. So what happens is Kunshi actually winds up getting eliminated. And then Dispo starts getting badly beaten up, and then Dispo retreats. And as this is going on, Toppo and Gerren are just standing there watching. They're just standing around doing jack shit as their own team members get eliminated one after the other. They don't really seem all that concerned from their teammates, and they're not really being more active to try to preserve their numbers to improve their chances in this tournament. Now, the Pride Troopers are down to a measly 3 members. This is all that remains of Universe 11. Toppo, Gerren, and Dispo. That's all the fuck they got left. And it's like, the Pride Troopers really don't seem to have their priorities straight, because, especially not Toppo, because Toppo has showcased that he's a real dumbass, especially in the episode where those 3 magical sluts were transforming and then Android 17 interrupted them because, well, that's the smart thing to do. They're in the middle of a transformation sequence, so attack them, especially considering that this is a tournament to determine which universe won't be erased. But then we have Toppo, who comes up saying that it was disrespectful for 17 to interrupt them, and talking about how doing poses is justice. It's like, fuck your poses. You know, the Ginyu Force did poses, and Goku just let them know just how stupid their poses were. So, come on. And then we have Gerren. Now, Gerren is supposedly the most powerful member of the team, although we really haven't seen the full extent of Gerren's power. Because what this series is doing is building up to some sort of showdown between Goku and Gerren. And it's like, why should I give a fuck about him fighting Gerren? Who the fuck is Gerren? So far, he's just been a character that really hasn't done much for me to even have any sort of respect towards him, because, well, what has he done? It's like, come on. You mean to tell me that this guy, who really hasn't showcased any personality traits, who really hasn't showcased really how powerful he is gonna be the guy to fight Goku? Like, this is your big buildup of the series? Do you really expect me to be all that impressed that he one-shotted that psycho dyke, do you really think that that's all that impressive? Because really it isn't. Goku could have taken her out himself if he wasn't such a dumbass. And quite frankly, Gerren may have one-shotted her, but he didn't ring her out, so what the fuck was the point of that? So quite frankly, we have Gerren, who's standing around doing nothing, I guess to build up the moment where Goku and Gerren will actually fight, where we'll actually see where he's made of. But quite frankly, everything about Gerren is nothing more than an informed ability at this point. I really haven't seen what he's truly capable of. And quite frankly, just to see him disregard his own teammates like that, just to see all of pretty much the Pride Troopers to disregard their teammates like that, where they'll just stand around watching as their teammates will get eliminated, not stepping in to give them a hand at moments where you really should be, because, well, you need all the help you can get to win this tournament. And the only real instances of someone doing teamwork would be when Kunshi was giving Dispo a hand as Dispo was almost taken out. So quite frankly, the Pride Troopers are the biggest bunch of dumb shits ever. They really don't have their priorities straight. They're really not acting in the way that someone would in a situation where they could wind up getting erased from existence. And quite frankly, until I really see what Gerren can do, as far as I'm concerned, everything about him is just completely overrated. And here's the thing about Gerren. Show, don't tell. Don't tell me how strong this guy is. Actually show me what he's capable of, and you're going to have to do a hell of a lot better than one-shot that dumb psycho dyke.
Not impressed! I can do that too!
So, what do you guys think of the Pride Troopers? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe for more content to come. Anyway, with that being said, that'll be the end of this video. Have a good day, everyone. This is Trace, signing out.
Yes, we are special